seemingly just a default simulator has gained over 1 million players and is nearing 2 million concurrent players on average. How did such a game, such a basic default simulator, get so many players? Now, obviously, I could just complain about this, right? These other games are better. However, I want to actually know how they did it, so that perhaps you or perhaps I could copy their methods. Um, at the same time, however, I'm not saying you should copy the game's design. Um, that's their thing to do, and I think we should steal concepts and ideas in the way where it's like the way we're monetizing our games instead of real like topics the games are about. Anyways, so first off, I will say this. I guess this is one of the lesser explanations, but this game is more unique than some of the most of the games we have today, right? Most of those games they spam particle effects. If I set my graphics quality to max, real quick, you can see there's not a whole lot of particle effects. It kind of just looks pretty simple, you know? And that's not always good, and that's not super unique. Obviously, many people have done this before. However, you have to realize it's still probably like in the 5% or 3% of games that use mostly kind of this stud kind of style, right? So that's the first factor. Second off, it's more freeing than other simulator type games. Take, for example, Pet Simulator 99. What can you do on there? You grind and you sit there and AFK. In this game, you actually have to almost use your brain in the way where you can't just do it with a macro to play the game. And then there's third off, which it there's third off, which is that it copies the fish, or that's what it's called, right? Fish uh method of having individual like items that have their own mass amounts, right? Um, and this could contribute to people wanting to, even once they're in the oh, I'm shivering. Even when they're in the end game, they might want to grow the largest. What is it? What is the largest? What is the best crop? Let me see this. They want to grow the largest beanstalk, or what is bean? They want to grow the largest bean. I'm guessing, right? So they keep playing the game. Not to mention, there's also variants, which if you have not seen that, let me see. I think I have some here. Okay, I'm just gonna collect. Oh, there we are. It's probably like a. Is it frozen? No, it's not. Uh, okay. Besides that, there's also the close attention to detail. First off, you see how I'm kind of shivering in this snowstorm, right? Most other games probably wouldn't do that. Chilled is what it's called. Okay, so that's one of the modifiers. You can also get really, really large uh, crops like this one, right? Tomatoes are, as you can see, not usually like this. So they pay very close attention, especially to the um, the animations. See, look at these this these pet animations, right? They're not like they're almost lifelike. They're even better, I would say, than say like Minecraft animations. And unlike games like Pet Simulator 99, where they just have smooth movement and perhaps good particle effects, these guys actually have almost realistic type of movement, right? Obviously they're blocks, so you can't achieve that. Besides this, there's a couple things that make it extremely addictive. So first off, obviously they have a thumbnail that's I would say kind of attractive. Um, their thumbnail is follows like the general thumbnail idea with most simulators. However, it uses more shading and less AI. Probably, I hope. and it also has studs in the thumbnails, which is pretty rare. So perhaps these people check out this new game, plant a seed, and they're like, "Wow, this game is like it's more sandbox than most other games, right? You can plant a bunch of stuff close to each other. They're always there's almost always stuff to do. So besides that, uh, one of the other things that makes it addictive is that it's not a straightforward grind. I can't just buy the best seed I can buy, grow it, buy the next best seed, grow it. No, there's stock. And so, because there's stock, it makes it more difficult to get the best items in the game. And so, you're always looking for those restocks. Not to mention, it tells you in a message here, like in 30 seconds or something, you'll see that there's a message when gear and seeds restock. And so a lot of times, because the restock time is so short, these players will wait for that restock before going and leaving the game, right? That's perhaps not addictive, but it keeps players hooked, right? There's that. And then they go over, check the seed shop. Ah, there's something really good in stock. You go and buy it, then you go over and okay, you go buy it, and then you go and plant it, right? Let me plant this bamboo actually, to prove my point, I guess. Bro, all right, yeah, yeah, okay, huh? Okay, so you go buy it and you go plant it, right? You plant it, you're like and then you want to check out the gear shop because it's growing so slowly. Bamboo actually goes pretty fast in this, but like coconuts, oh my goodness, you have no idea. Like, yes, you do. You have an idea. If you're watching this video, you've probably played this game before, but it just takes so long for things to grow. And so because of that, you're like, let me go to the gear shop. Yeah, I know this is really slow. So let me do this real quick. So I'm like, wow, I want to buy this watering can because it speeds up the growth of my extremely slow, whatever it is. Let me see. My extremely slow coconuts, right? You go over to the gear shop, you buy that, and you go over back to the seed shop. It's gonna restock in like 3 minutes. I've already waited so long. I might as well wait for the next one. Do you see where I'm going with this? So basically, if you're making a game, you want to have something where it's not only something to do, but something that's not necessarily finishable. Something where you usually want to involve RNG, where there's a chance to get something really good. So besides that, there's also the fact that, well, you get a really good seed, and dang, it's so expensive, right? The beanstalk seed, it's a $10 million. I have not nearly enough to buy that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna keep playing and grinding till I can buy that. That's another way it keeps players hooked. Let me sell my inventory. Wow, a lot of cash, huh? Anyways, so there's that, and not only that, but there are two shops. With two shops, well, you kind of have to go a little bit longer to check out everything. Go back to your garden, walk all the way over there, right? And I know, yeah, it doesn't take that long to walk there, but the thing is, during that time, that 1 or 2 minutes that pass, this is already almost halfway uh reran the restock timer, and they come back and check it, and they're like, "Wow, it's almost restocked, right? It's 2 minutes left. I might as well wait for this, right?" I know I've already said that before. I'm kind of dragging it, all right, because I'm thinking of other things. It's not really easy to think of this stuff. All right, so besides that, there are events. So you got like what, blood moon, moonlit, or is that what it's called? Midnight? Is it called the midnight event? What are these? Whoa, frozen corn. So like the midnight event, right? This little owl guy, and you can see when the next night event is. This guy is. I guess owls can rotate 360. Okay, so obviously this is a full every 1 hour, right? But that makes it more predictable. And when it's more predictable, you see here, like, hey, look, it's 4:50, right? I gotta get on so I can do this night event. That's just another chance for the game's already very hooking features to get them again because they're getting on because there's this really nice night event. Not to mention, you can get pretty good stuff from here, right? The night egg is, where is it? Wait, yeah, you can get this. Can you get this from? Huh? Okay, so sorry, I was having to close the door because my mom was talking. So where was I? There's obviously this event. I think there's also blood moons, right? And as you saw, there was also some sort of frozen ice event, and it's raining right now, right? So when you have all these events, you're like, I gotta stay for this, right? If they last for maybe 10 minutes, yes, there's not always an event, but that's just another way that you can get hooked, and then you can have the gear shop do stuff and the whatever else shop do stuff, right? And then obviously there's the timed events where they're like, I gotta get on for this. So there's that. And my stuff has been restocked. Let me see this. Oh, see, this is one of the things I was talking about. Dang it, it's too expensive, right? I gotta grind this out so I can buy it next time it's in stock. But the next time it's not in stock, so I'm just constantly waiting for it. Let me go check out the. Actually, let me go harvest my crops. Uh, okay. And there's also offline progress, right? If your items are like, if your stuff takes a long time to grow, yeah, going offline is perfectly fine. But then once like it takes a long time to grow, right? And then you come back, or rather you want to come back. Because during that time your stuff's grown. You can plant more stuff, you can harvest more stuff. And for single grow crops, you harvest them, you get more money, right? And so, whoa, this bamboo is a little bit, huh? It it doesn't, it's not multi harvest, whatever. So there's that. And then I'm sure I had other things that I was going to talk about. So besides that, I'm not exactly sure, okay, but I'm pretty sure that, let me get this free item. But I'm pretty sure that you can get the exclusive items for free. That's just what I've heard. Uh, I'm probably incorrect, but you have exclusive items for free. They want to grind for it, and when it's exclusive, also, like some games, they just get tiring to play. It's the plastic texture, the low effort, the like this just looks better, right? It looks more, it obviously those better games, it hooks you for a little bit, right? I mean, like, look at how energizing this is. But your brain isn't always energized. What am I talking about? Whatever. Your brain isn't always up for such energizing things. But this is so much more just chill, you know? You're just, you're just chill. It's just chill gardening, huh? And then again with the sandbox, I cannot emphasize how much sandbox, like the ability for players to express themselves to create, is for any game. Like, look at mine, right? Mine is just optimized to cram the most. It's just optimized to cram the most stuff into one area. This person, however, has actually done like a nice little grid thing. Um, and that's just like the freedom of expression is something that a lot of people, they just love it, right? Uh, in fact, I actually made a macro for collecting stuff, which is totally off topic, but I joined this game. I was expecting just a default simulator. I was expecting just leave in a couple minutes, right? But like, it's a hooking game. It's not. It's obviously it does not deserve nearly the amount of players it has. I think 10K is the most it should have. I have no idea how this game got so popular. However, there's also another thing. Wait, What was that? Coconut wet? Ugh. Ew. Okay. What is this like? I have to parkour to gather my crops. Wow. Okay. A lot of wet coconuts. That's a lot. That is a lot of wet coconuts. Okay, and then also the growth. I would call it animations. The animations for growth are very advanced. You can have obviously stuff like tweening, right, where it goes from one thing to the next. But the thing is, the progress takes so long, and there's offline progress. So when stuff grows, it just looks really satisfying to watch it grow, right? And then besides that, I was there's so much variation. Like look at this. This is definitely advanced code because I can't make it for like a game like this. One, two, three, four, five, six. Like this has three sections. This has more sections. I think does it have more leaves? No, this has more segments on the leaves, right? So yeah, it's it's got that, and then once again, it's got the charm of the old, I would say perhaps, Roblox games. All right, I need to think of something else to talk about so I can keep you here for as long as possible. If you've been here for this long, uh, congratulations. You just listened to me talk about absolutely nothing while playing a game for however long you did. Um, so anyways, that's about all I think. I have that's about all the oh wait, one more reason, alright. So any game needs a jump start. If Grow a Garden did not have advertising, it would not be the game it is today. So if you when you're making a game, especially if you're thinking, wow, this is a high quality game, I want players on this, right? You have to advertise it. If you don't advertise it, it's the game will not it won't gain new players, and when old players quit, it'll just become a dead game. So you have to advertise. It's super important. And obviously, just because you're advertised does not mean you're gonna get millions, hundreds of thousands, maybe you're probably not even gonna get tens of thousands of views in the early stages, unless your game is just that great, right? But advertising is definitely crucial, and like it carries a game in the early stages. Whether that's advertising with money, or Robux on the Roblox, like the the thing, like the store thing. What is it called? Not the store thing. The, the like just like the regular Roblox advertising, like the portals, right? Whether it's that or on YouTube, you have to advertise. Okay, two more things before I go. So first off, there is what is it? Okay, so I was distracted because I was gonna say something. I was gonna say, is my voice like fluctuating? I hope it's not, but it. Anyways, so you have to build a community, right? Either you have someone start a Discord server, you start like this is an example. You don't have to do Discord. You start a Discord server. Someone else starts a Discord server. You have a YouTuber play your game a lot, right? And do giveaways or whatnot if you have trading or things like that, and you build a community, and with a community you have things like people I'm pretty sure someone made a restock engine, like telling you what the restocks what when a good restock is, right? When you have this a community, it makes the game not only more enjoyable, but or more enticing to players, but they'll play it for longer because perhaps their friends will get on and farm the biggest coconuts with them, right? Okay, so last but not least, you have to have consistent updates. I can't be talking because do not have an upload schedule for my games or for my YouTube channel. However, if you want a good game or a good YouTube channel, or even just like if you want to have a good keep your position in a job, you have to be consistent. You have to like for YouTube, you have to upload frequently. For a game, you have to update frequently. And obviously, your updates they can't just be new zones, new whatever. You have to add something unique, and that can obviously take a lot of work to think up, which is why it's difficult to keep a game popular. I had no idea how Grow a Garden is still growing in players. Also, if you want to keep a game popular for long, do not use current trends like Italian brain rot, right? What's this game called? What was it? Like Italian brain rot? Brain rot evolution. Last time I saw it, it had 150K players. Now it has 50K players, and we all know it's gonna go down. So don't use those what you call it, those trends, right? All right, and then I think that's a bit about it for now. My snipping tool is probably about to crash, so bye.